I was suffering from an incurable brain disease. So I said, when I open your book and I read about you, please take away my pain. So Allah did my surgery for me. He performed the surgery.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today we have a special guest. This brother, he is from Australia and he is going to share with us his Revert stories. Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Please introduce yourself, your name, where you are from, and what is your religion before Islam.
My name is Kasta, so originally born and raised in Australia, but currently now living in Kuala Lumpur here in Malaysia. And I've reverted to Islam about 13 years ago.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Prior to that, even though I was exposed to some religions over the years, I was agnostic. So I always believed that there was a creator, but which one I didn't know. Yeah, so that was pretty much overall my background there.
So how is your life before Islam?
Wow, before Islam, okay. Like I mentioned, I was exposed to some religions over the years since my childhood. Growing up in Australia, there was Christians, Muslims. I even had a lot of contact with Jews as well. It left a bad taste in my mouth. I saw a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of lying, a lot of people claiming to be religious, but their actions, their behavior, it was no different from those who didn't follow a religion. So I just thought everybody were hypocrites. So I stayed away from all religion. I didn't want anything to do with it. I was very confused. I didn't know who was right, who was wrong. Everybody claims to be telling the truth, but everyone lived exactly the same lives. So on the outside, they're all pious people, but in the background, not at all. So I didn't have the best experience with religion. So I just tried to do good and live my life, treating people the way I would like to be treated. And that was pretty much it until the age of 27.
Wow. Now, Kasta, please tell us about your journey to Islam.
Like I said, I was simply just trying to live my life in a good way, the best way that I can, treating others the way I would like to be treated. And but my life felt very empty, very shallow. I tried to fill it with material things, chasing the dunya as we do, chasing that dollar. But as much as I made, as high up the corporate ladder I got, there was no contentment. So nothing was satisfying me. So I didn't know what I was missing. So I got to a point where I just didn't care about any of my wealth anymore. Nothing made me happy. And one day I was in the office and I had a knock on the door, and it was Jehovah's Witnesses.
Wow.
Yeah, preaching the Bible. Normally I would have fun with these guys, but I was so bored this day. I said, come in. So they took out the Bible. I go for it. Give me a spiel. So I let them read, and they gave me some magazines. So I said, good on you, see you later, and off they went. So this continued for 3 months, once a month, and I never used to read anything they would give me. It was just more for entertainment, to pass the time. After some time, the 4th month they didn't come, the 5th month they didn't come. I thought, it's not right here. Where are these guys, you know?
You feel bored?
Yeah. My monthly entertainment was missing. So I picked up their magazines and had a read, and I was liking what I was reading, you know, like about living a clean life, a godly life, and all of this type of thing, and it pulled some strings in there. So I kept reading and reading. Next time they came, I asked them, I said, give me a Bible. So they gave me the Bible, and I started reading, and obviously if you've read the Bible, you know, very, very difficult to understand. So next time they came, I said, look, introduce me to somebody who can teach me this, you know, so I can study and learn properly. So they did that, and I continued those studies for almost 2 years, I would say. And one thing not many people actually knew, even those who knew me didn't notice at the time, I was suffering from an incurable brain disease. It's a very, very painful condition, one of the most painful conditions actually known to mankind, to be honest. And alhamdulillah, it was just caused me a lot of pain when I would try to study and focus. At this stage I was pretty much finished studying the Bible, and I was at the bookshop one day and I saw the Quran in English. So I thought, I remember this one. So I took it and brought it home and started reading. One thing I forgot to mention though, when I was studying the Bible, I came across a number of things which no scholar, nobody could answer. And I would write this down. So I had 4 pages complete, full of questions that nobody could answer.
Subhanallah.
3 scholars, Christian scholars I went to, not one could answer these questions. I was simply told you just have to have faith. That's not going to work on me. So I need to see it. I need the facts. So I put these away. It's been sitting in my filing cabinet for a few months. So I'm reading the Quran. I read it once, just briefly skimmed through second time, and slowly I'm adding notes and putting marks in there here and there. So I did this 5 times. So by now I had probably 100 bookmarks throughout the Quran. And somehow, I don't know, after the 5th time, I remembered all the questions that I had from months ago from the Bible, and I thought, let's see if I can find them in here. So I pulled them out of the cabinet and started going through, and one by one I was finding all the answers.
You mean questions in the Bible get answered by the Quran?
Yes, it blew my mind. It absolutely blew my mind. And not just a few of them, I mean literally every single question.
Wow.
All 4 pages. I didn't need an imam to explain it, I didn't need a scholar to explain it. Just in a basic English translation, using common sense, I was able to find these answers. And I remember sitting there, I was in agony, like it was very painful, my condition. So I had the Quran here and I had the Bible here right in front of me. And when I got through the final question, I'm looking at the 2 books. I just remember pushing aside the Bible, bringing the Quran closer and saying, this is the one. This is the one. This one has all the answers. This is the one I'm going to follow. So I made that decision, and I did something at this point that I don't think I've done before. So I made dua, and I was praying to Allah specifically, asking for forgiveness. This was my first prayer I was making to Allah. And what I was asking, it wasn't for money or material things. I asked for one thing. I said, when I open this book, the Quran, because I still wanted to learn about him. All I wanted to learn was about him. Who is he, you know? What is he to us? What's the relationship we have with God? That's what I wanted to know. So I said, when I open your book and I read about you, please take away my pain. When I'm finished and I close the book,
can you tell us a little bit more about your pain?
Alright, let me try and explain this one. Imagine a really long, thin needle, a metal needle that's been sitting in the fire. So it's hot now. You take this needle and stab yourself on top of your eye, bring it back to the back of your brain and just pull it back and forth like that. If you can imagine what that would feel like, that's what it felt like.
When you are reading books?
Sometimes it would happen randomly, but mainly it would happen when I'm focusing for a long period of time and concentrating on anything. So yeah, it's nicknamed the suicide disease. So no cure for absolutely nothing. So this is what I was going through, and I was in the process of preparing for brain surgery during this stage.
Wow.
So anyway, this was what I asked, and then I ended that dua. That was all I asked for at that time. And the next day, when I woke up, I usually would feel some pain, but I didn't feel anything. Actually, I felt supercharged, like full of energy. So I thought, wow, this is good, I'll make the most of it. So I went for a run by the beach and came back, and I still felt really good. I didn't know what was happening. So the next day, I had to go in for an MRI, preparing for brain surgery. So I did that, came back home.